Hi everyone, my name is Vincent Go and welcome to the second part of this tutorial about Substance Designer 5 and especially about how to rotate normal maps inside Substance Designer 5 thanks to the new pixel processor node. So this is the second part, so in case you haven't seen the first one, I invite you to click on the link, that should appear somewhere on the screen. If you're at the right place, let's start. So in the first video, what we saw is how to use the pixel processor node and how to do the physical rotation, meaning that with a simple float that will be exposed, you can rotate the normal map right in the middle. So that's exactly what we want. So now that we have that, we're going to before to start, we're going to clean a bit what we have done. So as we say, we have the gate float, which will be this one. I just put this float in order to avoid to switch between the different menus of Substance Designer. But this will be the exposed variable, which is called rotation. Here we have done this is the constant float 2 on this one, which is more important, is actually the expose, which is going to scanning all the pixel of the pixel processor, and all of this that we have here is just to handle the rotation. So let's select them, put a frame, and call it physical rotation. Good. So now that we have that, we have sampled the color, which is good because right now we are going to work on the color. So anytime you want to work on the position of something, you start with the get float, this one with the expose, and every time you want to start to work on to modify or to use the color input, you will need a sample color. So right now a bit of math. As we said in the first video, what you have to, when you rotate the normal map, you have to make sure to adapt the vectors that are handled by the green and red color. So for that you have to do a bit of math. So if you have to be a bit technical for this video. Sorry about that if you are not. Because as we say, the blue channel doesn't need to rotate. You don't need to. It's not affected by the rotation, but the green and the red are really affected. So how to adapt that? You have to do a bit of math, as I told you, and to use rotation matrix, which is actually this. Don't worry, we have all of this in Substance Designer, but basically what it says is, okay, if you want to do a rotation of, let's say, I don't know if here, it's better, this one, I'm going to put it a bit bigger, okay, this one. So if you have a rotation of an angle theta here, it's equal on the vector x on cosinus theta minus sinus theta, and vector on the vector y and sinus theta by cosinus theta. So which means, and really what we want to do is this: the new x is equal to this and the new y is equal to that. So once again, artists, sorry about that, but if you want to make it work, you have to see that. But anyway, I am going to do it, so don't worry about that too much, at least. So how can we do that? First of all, what we have to do is we say that we don't care about we don't really care about the blue on the green. So what we are going to do, we are going to isolate them right now. So to do that, here we said we have a float 4, basically RGB and alpha. So we don't need B and alpha. So what we're going to do is to use a swizzle float 2, which is actually allows you to split your channel. And here we're going to put Z, which is blue, and W, which is alpha. We don't need them, so we are going to replug them at the end, but so far let's put them here. And now we want to isolate the green, the red and the green one. So we're going to do the same one. So you do a swizzle float 1 and you duplicate it, Control D. This one will be red. So it's channel red. Oh, sorry about that. And this one will be, I guess, channel green. So right now we just plug the sample color and we say okay, red is X, so perfect, and green is Y. Once again, here it puts XYZW because it can be used in different situations, but of course for color it corresponds to RGB alpha. Okay, so right now what you have to do is when we've seen the math here, we have, whoa, sorry about that, it's too big. I don't know if there is a no, there is not a circle, but basically here we see it a bit. The thing, we have to make a conversion because basically by default Substance Designer is putting 0 here and 1 here and 1 here, but here we want 0 to be in the middle and to go from 0, basically from -1 to 0 to 1, and same thing on the other axis. So for this there is a node. So if you type 1, for example, here you have 0, 1 to -1, 1. So we want to use that 2 times for each. So it's just to convert to the proper axis. So we are in a good referential mode. I don't know exactly how to say. Some people will laugh from my English again. Add frame. So referential conversion. I don't know if it's the good word, but you got the point. So now that we have done that, we have to do the math. So this will be a bit more complex, but basically what you have to do is to say, okay, I have my, if I look at what we said just before, we have this, where is it? This. Okay, this one that we want to do. So we have to take the angle. So we want to calculate XY. I'm going to place it this one. So it's cosinus of the angle minus sinus of the angle. Here it's better. It's x multiplied by cosinus of the angle and -1 multiplied by sinus of the angle. So let's go and see the angle first. So the angle is this, the float. That's us who define the angle we want. So once we have done that, you have to do a conversion, because cosinus and sinus, if you want to convert it, you have to put it into radians, not degrees, not turns, gradients. Sorry, radians. So to do that, you take the value, you say, you go to the library, do turns, whoops, turns to degrees, and degrees to gradient. Radiant is more effective with first because it works with cosinus and sinus, and basically what you have to say is that half of the circle correspond to p gradient, like 3.14. That's why it exists actually. So that's why it works well with radian, and to make this conversion. But you don't have to retain this. Just retain that you have to work with radians to do that. So from this, as we say, we are going to work a lot with cosinus of the angle and sinus of the angle. So let's calculate them right now. So you go here, you go to function, yeah, you have here the cosinus, and then you have the sinus just below. So right now it's just a question of replicating the math that we have seen. So first we say that let's do, you will have some multiplication to do, so we have actually two multiplications. So operator multiplication, let's separate because another multiplication, but not here. Okay, so let's do x first. So x is the red that is here. As we said in when I show you in the picture at the beginning, in the previous video, I explained you that x actually the red is defining the vector in the x-axis from left to right, while green on the y-axis, top to bottom or bottom to top, depending if you're in OpenGL or DirectX. So what we have to do, we say we are going to multiply the first one on x is, so we have to switch a bit not to forget anything. So this line is x cosinus theta minus y sinus theta. So x is here, we say, so x cosinus, which is here, theta minus y by sinus theta. So it's a subtraction here. Operator subtractions. So okay. And now the second one, we are going to use multiplication again. Operator multiplication. So for the y-axis, we said it's x sinus theta plus y cosinus theta. So x multiplied by sinus theta and y by cosinus. And this was an addition. Operator add. So here we have the two vectors which are in theory the new vector x here and the new vector y here. So now what we want to do is to replace them in the proper value, but as we are in Substance Designer, before to plug them back we have to change the referential again. So this one it's -1 to 0, -1 to 1 to 0 to 1, so we need two of this, and so this one is back in the substance referential, and same here. And right now we are going to plug them back in the vector float 2. And to get a color output we need a vector float 4, so I'm going to bring this guy back here, which is, to remember, if you remember, it's the blue and alpha channel that we didn't touch. So right now I need a vector float 4, that I plug back, and right now let's see if the magic happens. We set as output node, so nothing happens is because the angle is at 0. So but right now if we change, as you can see, the color is changing properly, and you really can see it because let's see that it's this kind of purple which is like pointing top. If I put another object here, you see that it's the purple. So right now, so it works basically, we did it. So right now what we're going to do is, instead of relying on this this temporary float, we're going to plug it back to the get float here. I'm deleting that, and we're going to do a bit of cleaning because we like. So this is the radian conversion. I'm going to so basically we are done. So if you want to go and take a coffee, you can, but if you want to get a good summary, this is the time. So here it was radian conversion, which is important because, as I told you, that's how the angle are properly applied. Here we derivate the sinus sinus and cosinus, and here that's where we calculate here the new x vector, and here the new y vector. And here I guess I don't have to comment because it's quite clear. We just gather in the vector float to the red and green, and here and we then plug everything together. So once again, it's not that complicated. It's a bit technical, of course, but once you know the formula that I didn't know, I forgot before to start. So it's just this. Actually, you have to find a way to do this inside Substance Designer, and it works fine. So right now, if I go here, I go directly to the menu, I have my value, and I can change without any problem. In case you also have, for example, another image, what you can do is to, for example, duplicate this, plug this, and let's say you go inside, and here what we want to do is actually just do the rotation, and that's it. So the rotation happens here. So if I'm not a clean guy, I will do this way. So basically you don't need all of this, is useless for, you just need the physical rotation. So basically right now, if I do a diffuse output like that, and I plug that, did I forget something here? Sample color should be good. Let me check that. Ah, okay, I had to double click, I didn't get it. Okay. Let's view in 3D mode. Ah, it's not, sorry, it's not the same size, both, but you will get the point anyway. It's because I changed the size before, but whatever. Right now what you have to see is both are rotating at the same time. Of course, I assume that you have the same diffuse and normal size, but at least you see that, for example, if you have the diffuse and the normal and the specular or whatever to do, you can do it this way as well. So that's it for this tutorial. I hope it has been useful. Once again, if you have any question, don't hesitate to add it in add them in the comments. If you like the video, don't hesitate to reshare, and you can subscribe to my channel as well, so you will be alerted when there is new tutorials like this one. Thanks again, and see you soon.